It's Wednesday, new comic book day. I'm at my LCS. Time to go inside, pick up some books. Alright, time to read some comics, and I'll tell you what the best splash page of the week was. Alright, walking home from the LCS, and they're setting up the farmer's market here. So in a few hours, there's going to be a ton of great stuff. Really edit that out. Hi, my name is McKinley. Thanks for clicking. I really appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about the best splash pages of the week. But before that, we're going to talk about the best books of the week. And before that, we're going to talk about the best cover of the week. So let's get going. Now, before we talk about the best cover of the week, let's talk about some art fails. Usually, I like to keep things positive, but sometimes you just got to call it the way you see it. And for the first fail, we're going to talk about Department of Truth's B cover. What the heck is going on with this woman's ankles? Did her ankles get broken? How is she able to stand like that? That's what I want to know. And this cow right here, what the heck? Did he get bitten by a bee and that's why his leg is so swollen in that one spot? Fail. Good book though. Fail number 2. This could have been the cover of the week, but beautiful woman, bad graphic design. This X-Men at the top, I know they're trying to make it look like a Vogue magazine cover, but the X-Men is too small. It's like an afterthought. It needs to be a lot bigger to replicate that Vogue feeling. You could have made her a little bit smaller, maybe like by 5%, and blown up that X-Men the way it should have been. I would have even taken off this stupid Women's History Month thing and moved it somewhere because it's totally interfering with the true intent of the design, which is to make it look like a Vogue magazine cover. Fail. Now that we got the fails out of the way, let's talk about what is the best cover. And it's going to go to Shadecraft. This is the B cover, one of the variants. There's only 2 variants, only 3 covers. And this isn't the A cover, but I think this is the best cover of the week. It's kind of spooky, kind of epic, and says a lot without giving away the whole story. You get the idea, especially after you've read the book, what this is about. And I also like the fact that the main character is this small compared to the whole rest of the page. Usually the main character on a comic book cover is super huge, of course, but this shows you the epicness of the art and the story. Congratulations to Jock for creating the best cover of the week. I've seen your work before and I love it, Jock. Please keep it coming. Now let's move on to the best books of the week. Are you ready? Before I talk about the best books of the week, I want to give an honorable mention or a shout out to Silk No. 1. This book was written by Maureen Gu and obviously not written for me. It's written for a teenager, a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old. So not written for grumpy old men like me. But it was still a fun read, and I enjoyed it a lot. Well, not a lot, but it was a fun read, and could have made the list if there hadn't been better books in the top 3. Now, are you ready for the top 3 best books of the week, and coincidentally, the best splash pages of the week? They're the same. So let's get off with number 3, and Witchblood No. 1, created by Matthew Ehrman and Lisa Sturl, and colored by Gab Contreras. Gab? I don't know. But in any case, great cover. Well, maybe not a great cover, but a cool cover. And the story was really cool. I liked the story a lot. It was another one that's written for teenagers, not grumpy old men like me, but I still enjoyed it. It's fun to eavesdrop on the teenage world, especially for a grumpy old man. I like the main character a lot in this book, and here is the opening splash page, which kind of sets the tone for the whole book. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but I will say that there are a lot of cool things about this book that I liked, including the musical references. So there is a nod to Love Buzz, which is a song by The Shocking Blue, but you might know it because a band called Nirvana covered it. But to me, it's a song by the Shocking Blue. And if you haven't heard the Shocking Blue, go look on your Spotify or whatever, download their stuff. It's amazing. But it also had the name of the main character's motorcycle is Ramblin' Rose, which is a, if I'm not mistaken, a country song, but popularized by one of the best groups of all time, the MC5. It's the opening track to Kick Out the Jams. So kudos to Witchblood for dropping some musical Easter eggs in a book that is written for primarily younger people, but an old man like me could get into. Coming in at number 2 for Best Splash and Best Book of the Week is Department of Truth number 7 by the James Tynion, as opposed to the other one. In any case, you can tell that they were trying to make this look like an old comic book, make the pages look yellowed. Totally failed, but still a nice attempt. My tip to you is your monitor is going to push the colors a lot darker than they're actually going to print. In general, it might be, sometimes it's the complete opposite, but they attempted, didn't do that great, but it still looks cool. And that's why these pages are coming in at number 2. Nice work in general, but it's hard to replicate that old page look on new pages, especially when you don't get the color right. Still, I enjoyed this book. This is a book that's written for old men like me, and I appreciate that. Thanks, James. Now, before we get to the best book of the week, best splash page of the week, I want to do all that YouTube yada yada yada. There, I did it. YouTube yada yada yada. Subscribe, like, blah 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 blah. Best book of the week, best splash page of the week, Shadecraft. This book was really cool, really fun. It's another book that is written for teenagers, but it still has an appeal that even an old grumpy man like me can appreciate. And I had a lot of fun reading this book. I love Zadie Lou. I love her character. I love the way this story is set up about the shadows, and I'm not going to tell you too much more. I'm just going to show you this opening splash page and suggest to you that you go buy this book if you didn't, because it was really fun, a great read, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, yada, 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 YouTube, yada, yada, yada. And God willing, I'll see you next week for another episode of the best splash pages and the best books of the week, and maybe even some more art fails, but I hope not. We don't like art fails. But thank you for watching. Peace, love, Bunny, and Bear.